Hi, thank you for watching. This video is to tell you a little bit more about our new Bethany Discernment resource, what it is about, how to use it, and who it's for. We're really thrilled to have this new booklet. It's a manual for state and life discernment for young women and their pastoral leaders across our Sword of the Spirit communities in the world. We've pulled this together and edited material, I suppose, from the last 20, 30 years, not me, of experience of mentoring and co-discerning with young women in their state and life discernment. The key thing really is that discernment and this booklet is not just for those who are already inclined to living single for the Lord and now want to find out more. Neither do you sign up for lifelong celibacy by taking a bit of time to look at this area. In all our communities, we encourage young women and men to look at both marriage and celibacy as a vocation, something that God is calling us to, something we can choose to live and actually find a deep spiritual meaning and purpose that informs how we live marriage, how we live family, and how we live singleness. Asking God his opinion and plans for us in this area, I suppose, is for a lot of people a new or quite a challenging thought. It goes to the heart of things. And you'll see that this booklet has 9 topics with some teaching points and questions for reflection and prayer, book recommendations, questions you can take to people and women who have already discerned their state in life and interview them about that process. But you see that the 7 first topics are actually quite different. It's not primarily about whether to live single or whether to get married. What you do is delve into questions here around how to hear God's voice, how to make good decisions, understanding and discovering our fears, our limitations, our desires, our emotions. Questions like, do I really trust God with my life and with my future? And what gifts has he given me? And how can I serve him in career and mission and community? And it's in answering these questions that you get to a point of actual freedom and confidence to 1, hear God speak to you, and 2, respond with a joyful decision. What I found and what many experience, I suppose, is that the discernment question really is just a door into a whole journey around existential questions of trust, of knowing God, of being known by him, of knowing what we truly want and making a decision to discuss our sexuality and our future with the Lord. In my experience of accompanying young women through this process, what this discernment process gives you is a greater peace with either state in life. You come out the other end, I suppose, with an appreciation of God's purpose for marriage and family. That was big for me. You gain a much better ability to hear the voice of God. You have a deeper knowledge of who you are in Christ and the freedom to move on to either pursuing marriage or living single for the Lord. Now, practically, what does that look like? Usually we suggest a time span of 6 months for those in final years of university, probably around age 21 plus. And in community formations, our Formations 2 program is when we look at state and life, marriage, courtship, dating, and so on. And that would be a good opportunity to come alongside a young woman for a state of life and discernment where you could work through this booklet. It's helpful as part of this process to really learn how to get a good routine of daily prayer. Most of us think we have that in the bag, we don't. And then in that you set aside a couple of times of prayer each week for this purpose, for looking at this material and bringing it before the Lord. Another element of that process is to have a monthly conversation with a local pastoral leader, somebody who knows you, who can co-discern and hear the Lord with you, for discussion, for prayer, and so on. And as Bethany sisters, we're also available for conversations throughout that time. We can point you to more resources. We can perhaps answer some questions from how we've lived and how we discern this state in life. And we're also happy to facilitate a retreat day. There's different ways to connect with us. What outcome are we looking for at the end of this 6-month discernment? There's, I suppose, 3 possible options. One is you reach the end of this period and you have no sense of call to single life, or if anything, you have a real sense of call to marriage. And you pursue that and are open to marriage post this 6 months. Secondly, you might come to the end of this process and have a real sense of call or just a greater interest in pursuing single for the Lord life. Something about it attracts you to it. And the next step would be then to make an initial commitment for a year and continue discernment with a local pastor leader and in more connection with the Bethany sisters. And thirdly, some find they've just not reached a point where they can really make a good decision about this and they want to take a pause, perhaps for some more personal growth, and then revisit later. When I look at that discernment process and think back to mine, I just know that God is the one who will call a young woman. God is the one who will win your heart for himself and make you curious enough to take the next step towards living single for him, if he knows that this is going to be the way of life and the vocation that will bring you joy, that will bring you into a place of serving God well, and where you can discover the depths of his love for you. So there's nothing really to lose. It's something that we recommend all of our young women do and look at and are accompanied in. And yeah, it's an adventure, it's a journey, and it's a really worthwhile process. Thank you so much.